And I have an actual real big normal news whoosh. Guess what the Finance Committee has done today? What they have removed from the death care bill. Because, you know, Sarah Palin is such a liar and she's nuts. They have announced that they are removing the end-of-life care provision from its proposed health care bill. Yeah, you know what? Just too bad, though. Sarah Palin is such a dummy and an idiot nuts. Sarah Palin has done, with 2 postings on Facebook, what nobody else is able to do. She pushed Republicans to do it, because Republicans weren't doing it. Type, send. Now, it doesn't mean that's not going to happen still, but it means she's right, and they've removed it. The committee, the Senate Finance Committee, which has worked on putting together a bipartisan health care reform bill, and we all know what bipartisan means. It means conservatives grab their ankles. Will drop the provision after being derided as death panels to encourage euthanasia by, quote, conservatives. They're saying it was derided by conservatives. It was derided by Sarah Palin, which, as she described, what we all knew to be true. Wait till you hear what Chuck Grassley says when we get back. That's right. The Senate Finance Committee has dropped the end-of-life care consultation, the death panels, because Sarah Palin, of course, was oh so wrong. I'll be right back. That was simply a pulling back of the curtain. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. These are gifts. You see people's intentions. This is like if somebody walks into your home and they're brandishing a gun. When they walk in, that tells you something about their intentions. Does it matter if the guy says, oops, and puts it behind his back so you don't see it? Or did you learn something when the person came into your house brandishing a gun? Him hiding it from you or putting it back under his coat or behind his back doesn't mean that the threat is over. It means they were caught. So it has been removed from the Senate Finance Committee. Keep in mind, with all this, we're supposed to support stuff that is still, yes, being written. Still being written. Announcing that, because Sarah Palin is, of course, irrelevant, they are removing the end-of-life consultations from the health care bill from the Senate within the negotiations in the Senate Finance Committee, which is the bipartisan effort, you see. The bipartisan effort. Chuck Grassley, a Republican out of Iowa, said on the this is totally going to get a special report today, by the way, a podcast special report for me on Sarah Palin. I mentioned this earlier in the show. Sarah Palin, Facebook, and the power. Don, for being a completely irrelevant quitter, she sure is a strangely powerful typer.
This is true.
That's amazing.
This is true.
It's amazing. Chuck Grassley said, on the Finance Committee, we're working very hard to avoid unintended consequences. Yeah, that's what happens when the curtains are open. You get kind of blinded by the light, don't you? By methodically working through the complexities of all these issues and policy options, we drop the end-of-life provisions from consideration entirely because of the way they could be misinterpreted and implemented incorrectly. They finally, thank God, Sarah Palin's got a laptop. Don, this is another reason to put government in charge of everything. Because if Sarah Palin, this is how screwed up, I would have used another word if this was the Independent show. This is how screwed up government is. If some chick who was in an igloo didn't have a laptop, they'd be killing grandma. I mean, it's that simple. That's what he's suggesting. Nobody, not one Republican, was moving on this. Palin did it. And of course, her interpretation was correct. And she was not going to back down. Type, slap. Type, slap. If Barack Obama's agenda can be stopped, we don't even know where Sarah Palin is right now. Don, do we know where she is? As far as we know, she's on a beach somewhere with a damn laptop and a cell connection. I mean, this is what I love. Another example. One person I tell you this all the time. One person. You collectively together. When you're on the right side, you cannot lose. It may take some time. I'm not saying it's immediate. And I'm not saying everything's always fair. But one person. With 2 Facebook posts, Sarah Palin changed not just the debate, she made them remove this thing. And she did what no one else, even if they were trying, weren't able to do it. If somebody was out there, they were just spitting into the wind. 2 Facebook posts. I'm just really, truly am shocked for an irrelevant quitter. I've never seen such powerful typing in my life. What? Yeah, so there's Grassley. You know, that classic Republican. You know, we dropped it, entirely because of the way they could be misinterpreted and implemented incorrectly. Thank you, Sarah Palin, for bringing that possibility to these much more informed and experienced and men who have been doing the learning, because we know that's what you need to do. You need to spend at least 10 years learnings. There's a lot of learning to do out there, and that stupid, goofy Facebook stuff you've done. Oh, it worked. Oops. Oh my gosh. Oops. That's so weird. Oh, Eva. Yeah, the Finance Committee is the only congressional committee to not report out on a preliminary health care bill before the August congressional recess, but is expected to unveil its proposal shortly after Labor Day. That's right. Grassley said, the bill by the House committee is so poorly cobbled together that it'll have all kinds of unintended consequences, including making taxpayers fund health care subsidies for illegal immigrants. That's right. He also noted that the end-of-life provision in those bills would pay physicians to, quote, advise patients about end-of-life care and rate physician quality of care based on the creation of an adherence to orders for the end-of-life care. Who the hell are you? Again! When the issue, as it always will be, money. Do you think they're going to be advising Grandma to fight as long as she can and have that pacemaker put in? Finally, Grassley and every other freak up there has been given, I don't know, maybe it involves something with a buckle and a strap. Some manhood from some chick typing away and posting on Facebook. Because the truth matters. I posted this up on Twitter. Please spread the word. But remember, as I've said, look at this as a gift of revealing their intentions. This is why being underestimated is so important, because people get sloppy when they underestimate you. I don't think that was the Clintons' thing. They didn't underestimate us. So they made lying an art form. The Urkel crowd, not only do they underestimate you and they hate you, they have no regard for you whatsoever, and they get sloppy. So Sarah Palin slapped back today. It is now gone. Boy, I love that kind of quitting irrelevance. We can have more of that. 40 minutes past the hour.